Hey, Mike, can you hear us? Is everything
How's it
on
going,
this
Mike?
side good? Can you hear?
Hey,
Can you hear?
yo.
Is that no? Yep. Okay.
So yeah, so we heard you. Yeah, we heard you. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, we can't. We're hearing sounds. I just let me second. Let me message him.
In a weird way, some of the details that scene reminded me of. I saw Lean on Me for the first time recently. Morgan Freeman, 1989 movie, and early on in the movie, when he's making a speech to the teachers, he mentions a dude named Reverend Slappy, who works the janitorial staff. I think he heads it up, and he's like, Reverend Slappy, da da da, in the janitorial service, and they never discuss why he's called Reverend Slappy. He never really comes up again. I was just like, are we not going to talk about Reverend Slappy, the janitor?
That's a weird detail to have.
Isn't it? Yeah. What did they edit out of that movie about?
He had a whole side story that never got told.
And if that's his like given name, like his real name, what a horrible name to have as you work around children, right? Or Mr. Slappy. I'm Mr. Slappy.
Mr. Slappy.
Yeah, right. I mean, as opposed to Reverend, that's an earned title. But if he was born so and so Slappy.
Oh no, a long line of Slappies. But it was a good movie. Good movie. I enjoyed
Glad you catching up. I was thinking about that the other day. It was like, yeah, Antoine's got some stuff to watch.
Yep. Hold on, let's check in, y'all. I'm about to
try to
reach Mike real quick.
Okay.
I just looked up the Wikipedia, and in the cast list it says Reverend Herschel Slappy, played by himself. That's the real dude.
Herschel Slappy.
Reverend Herschel Slappy.
Herschel Slappy.
Wait, so he is really a reverend playing a janitor, or he's actually a janitor who's a reverend, and he just brought it right to the movie?
These are the questions I walked away from the movie with. What is the story? Reverend Slappy.
I'm hoping that he had the idea for the screenplay. I'm hoping that this was like his work. Like people like, hey Slappy, hey Reverend, how you doing today? Oh good. How's your script coming? All right.
It's going all right.
Going all right.
I'm gonna keep cleaning these halls, but I'll work on it. And then he put himself in it like Quentin Tarantino.
That's exactly, which would explain that would explain the nod, like just the cameo, the little Reverend Slappy. That's it, because he wrote it. It's his work.
I like that. We'll go with that story. That sounds good to me.
So good, but a janitor would know a lot of details about the school, what happened. They're busy doing their thing. They come in contact with all kinds of interactions. I'm sure the principal's office wasn't off limits. He knew what let me see, Lean on Me was, what's his name?
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. What's the real guy's name?
Clark.
Clark.
Crazy Joe.
Mr. Clark. Yeah, he knew what Mr. Clark was up to. Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of access.
And I like that you're watching these movies now because they're like fresh on your mind, and you can point to stuff that we might have missed because it's been so long. This is good.
After I watched it, I was thinking about the I don't know if you'd call it a trope or the genre of the school in trouble and the teacher that comes to save it. Like there was a whole slew of them from like the late 80s to early aughts, and then they sort of disappeared. When's the last time you seen a show or movie like that?
We don't want to save schools anymore. We gave up on that.
I was
yeah, but
hoping that we
was the
fixed it. No, we didn't fix schools. We don't need to make movies about them anymore.
I
We're
don't
just
think
like, these movies aren't working.
Moved on to dance movies. Yeah, we moved on to dance movie, trying to save the rec center with the prize money from the contest. And then I don't know what was done after that.
Oh, that's actually a good point. The dance phenomena that occurred after that. The series of dance movies.
Yes.
What series of dance movies? I'm lost. Sorry, out there. Our guest had some connectivity issues with StreamYard, so we will reschedule and have them back on. And just keep it rolling with the pod.
Okay. Oh,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Antoine was saying that he just watched Lean on Me, right?
Lean on Me,
the movie.
Yes.
And so we talked about one of the characters in there, and then we went on to Antoine saying that they stopped making those School in Trouble movies. You know, we had a little slew of those and they went away. And then Amici just pointed out that after that we got the dance movies. Like With
You Got Serves, the Honeys, the Step Up to the Streets.
You forgot Save, what was it called? Save
the Last Dance.
Save the Last Dance.
By the way, I hated dance movies, by the way. Hated them.
They usually don't hold up. Like if we go back and watch them, because
I know dancers. And dancers don't act like that. They don't talk like that. They don't just start talking and break out and dance and all that. I mean, they do, but not like that. So
they don't get angry and then like go dance it out somewhere
and breaking stuff
in the streets
in when it's raining and all that. I do remember the bad student movies. That was coming out of the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like 80s, early 90s. It was like a whole bunch of them.
So that makes me think about, I was watching Sesame Street last night with my daughters. The original.
Nice.
The pilot.
Original.
Did you?
Pilot episode. This man had the pork chop sideburns on the side of his face.
Was it Gordon?
I think so. And man, I was like, okay. Yep, Electric Boogaloo, Shauna.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Electric Boogaloo.
But Drumline, no, not Drumline, Lord. Stomp the Yard, I will still sit down and watch it because there was dancing in it, but it wasn't about him like being a dancer. Like he didn't go to college to like crump.
Yeah.
He went to college. That was a part of it. So I think as long as dance is kind of like it's the through line and not the thing that they're going to be, it's not.
It's not how they're going to save everything.
Exactly.
By dancing.
Yeah, they didn't save the college by dancing, right? At all.
But I will say my favorite dance movie, it's not considered a dance movie, it's more like a long music video, was a movie Michael Jackson came out with called Moonwalker. And I think I've watched Moonwalker probably 1 million times.
Me too. I watched it so many times when I was a kid.
It's such a great movie. It's such a great, like,
it's just like music videos, and then it's like this experimental, weird. I don't know what to call it.
It's very experimental. It's very like it's very experimental. But I remember specifically there was 2 scenes that used to like just blow my mind in the movie. One, Michael Jackson would turn into this really fast car because the whole time people are chasing Michael Jackson. That's the whole thing. Everyone's chasing him, trying to get him. You know, either they're trying to get him because they're fans or they're trying to get him because they're haters or whatever. But nonetheless, he turns to this super fast car, a DeLorean, and he just takes off. He pulls up to this bar, and you know, I think they have him surrounded. He runs into the bar, and then he changes clothes. When he comes in, he has on this all white suit, and his hat is super cool. That's the scene where he does the most famous lean. And all that, right? Well, that was a part of a movie called Moonwalk. And it was crazy. Like, but to me, I would say probably the most. I haven't heard many people talk about that movie, but it was an incredible movie. Like, it was like, then there's some kids. Like, I think he ended up getting captured, and then he turns into like a robot, and then then he like it was crazy, man. Michael
When's
Jackson
the last time you guys have seen that movie? When's the last time you watched
This would have been
years.
Yeah, I don't know.
Years.
I first saw it last in the 90s.
Yeah.
We should watch it again. We should do it like a CTUN. I've never seen it.
Oh my God.
CTUN.
Is it a full-length movie or is it like a
Yes.
really long video?
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's called Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. It goes through. My grandmother had it taped, so I don't know if some of the stuff that she taped was a part of like the special that leads up to the movie, but the movie itself is pretty dope. Like it's pretty, like, you know, Michael Jackson was in a shootout. He was in a shootout, like in the movie. Like he really was. Like you got to see the movie. It sounds crazy, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share the actual like thing because I remember watching this, going, "Is this a real movie? Because this is fucking crazy." See, that's when he turned into the robot.
Okay.
So Michael Jackson is a robot. Here's the cover. Of course, spaceships were in it. Yep, he had a spaceship. I think he turned into a spaceship and took off.
Who wrote this one?
I don't know.
Ideas, man. It was just when you have unlimited amount.
Joe
of money,
Pesci was in it.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's a bad guy. Yeah.
And he eats peanuts. He just eats a bunch of peanuts and just like he has an underground layer, and that's all. He eats peanuts and has like spiders everywhere. Man, I'm about to watch this movie tonight, man.
You worked yourself
I
up.
just got hyped. Man, I forgot. Like,
Have you? Let me ask you something. You know, back in the day of, I guess, limited entertainment and when cassette tapes were big, do you think you have watched a movie via Netflix or whatever kind of streaming situation we have now? Do you think you've watched a movie as many times as you have watched a cassette movie that you played like multiple times? You think you watched the cassette a whole lot more than you watched?
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably because of choices and just, I don't know, we were just holding on to them cassette tapes, man. That was for real. You had a tape, you would just pop it in, pop it back in, rewind and pop it in. Wow.
Also, pause for a moment. Shauna, I do remember the Dancing Bunny. That was my first. That was the number one favorite part of the movie.
And the dance off.
It's the dance off with the rabbit in the desert where he turns into the mountain.
How did this script get approved?
So they had Michael Jackson starring in it.
I need somebody to research.
Michael Jackson. This is one of my favorite movies as a kid. I mean, my mind was blown. I mean, there's a matter of fact, I'll tell you another music video if Shauna remembers this. Do you remember it was called Leave Me Alone? I think the song was called Leave Me Alone or just Leave Me Alone, where Michael Jackson travels to a theme park with Bubbles, and they're in like a little whatever, right? Going like you're going through the Magic Mountain in Disney. And in the actual theme park, it's a Michael Jackson theme park. So he's seen all his music videos, all of his celebrity friends. He sees the elephant man Bones that's in there dancing. He's even like, it's crazy. And then at the end of the video, you realize that Michael Jackson is actually the theme park. And he gets up, he breaks up, he stands up, he knocks off the roller coaster, he knocks off the Ferris wheel, and you're like, oh my God. I'm like just stimulated, just blown away. But to answer your question, no, I don't watch movies the way I did back then. Like I have watched Netflix movies. Like I watch 25 minutes, I'll get a notification and I go, oh, I'm gonna go check this out, you know, or I'll do worse. Sometimes I'll be watching a movie, watching YouTube, and watching Facebook at the same time.
Nothing. Yeah, you're not fully watching nothing. I'm not willing to watch Moonwalker. I'm only willing to watch the director's. I only watch it if it has director's comments and or a making of, because I need details. I can't
You gotta see it first.
You gotta see it first.
You gotta see it
and
first.
then watch it with director commentary.
It doesn't do it justice.
I've already formed an opinion. I don't need to like suspend my belief.
For the record, according to IMDb, Michael Jackson wrote the story and some dude named David Newman wrote the screenplay. So
and then I want to be a rocket. And I'm a damn.
I mean, he like I'll say this: it's an experimental anthology musical film. That's what it's classified as, which explains it perfect. Like explains it perfect. If Kanye West is it's kind of like if you watched Kanye West's Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, if you saw the film that came with the music video, then you'd be like, oh, like you would probably thought he was really out there, but his music video, Dark Twisted Fantasy, holds nothing to Michael Jackson dancing with a bunny, turning into a robot. He turned into a Black Panther. He got in a shootout. You know, he was getting chased by all of Hollywood. Like all of the characters in Hollywood was chasing him in this video. He was literally hiding out in the Warner Brothers closet. He puts on a bunny hat, and that's how he disguises himself to walk around Hollywood studios. And everyone's like, hey, is that Michael Jackson? Because, of course, he does the Michael Jackson dance move. And then everybody at the studio, all the tour people, even the cops, are chasing Michael Jackson all the way out in the desert. It's one of the most exhilarating music videos. Yeah, and that song's called Speed Demon.
It sounds like, I'm sorry, I'm still going back to the movie, but it just sounds like whatever technology is out, like if it's CGI, if it's, you know, whatever, it's like, put it in the movie. Can it make me do this? Put it in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like.
We cut to the police captain's office as he has 3 detectives that he brought in. Look. I brought in each of you because I need this guy off the streets. And you guys are the best detectives in the city. And I'm hearing that you guys couldn't catch him. And I'm hearing ridiculous stories as to why you cannot catch this guy. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear from each one of you, right? I put you each on the assignment differently.
I'll go first, Chief.
Yeah, let me hear.
I'll go first.
I want to hear. I need some sense.
So I had Mitchell Jackson cornered, all right? Mm-hmm. He was cornered. I followed him. I had 5 guys surround him. We had guys on top of the building. He was standing in the alley, dead to rights.
All right.
When I came up to him to offer to put the handcuffs on him, he turned into the handcuffs.
What?
Nobody knows where the handcuffs went, Chief. No one.
He turned into the handcuffs.
He turned into a pair of handcuffs.
What does that even mean? You were holding the handcuffs. You should have had them right there.
But I didn't know which pair of handcuffs he turned into.
Oh,
Chief.
There were 2 handcuffs.
I didn't know if they were mine or the other ones because, you know, it was so confusing.
So what you do with the 2 handcuffs?
Well, I took them to a pawn shop to see if the pawn shop store owner could recognize a real handcuff from a fake handcuff. And, of course, he didn't recognize it. I did buy a necklace in there, and when I turned around, Mitchell Jackson, it took off. He took the police car.
God damn it, Detective Miles.
The guy is great. I think he was actually the pawn store owner at one point. But I haven't ruled it out yet.
You know you've gotten in trouble for going to that pawn shop before. You can't be going to that on company time, but we won't get into that right now. I need some answers, goddammit. What about you, Tandy? You got to have a lead on this guy or something.
All right. I thought I really had him, okay? We ran him down to a dead end. The only thing in the dead end was a donut shop. So we know he went into the donut shop. We go inside, all right? We go inside. I'm having everybody case the joint, look around, go to all the corners everywhere. I'm tired there. I'm standing there. I'm like, it's donut shop. I'm a little thirsty. So I get a cup of coffee. Bring it up to my mouth to drink it. I look inside. I see 2 eyes, and I hear, and I was like, oh, and I threw the coffee up, and I was like, was that him? Was it him? I don't know. So I get one of my best guys. Bring a broom. Mop this up. I need this guy.
You want to mop it up with a broom? That's your first mistake.
I'm sorry. That was the first mistake. I said a mop. Bring a mop. I'm sorry.
Was it a mop or a broom? I
hadn't had my coffee. That's the problem. So I said, bring a mop and mop it up. So he mopped it up. And I was like, yes, save that for evidence. I go out to my car to call you to let you know I got him. I go back, and somebody who works there threw the bucket. They emptied the bucket out into the alleyway. We run out to the alley. There's nothing there. It rains. It's a little bit brown in the rain. We figured that he went up into the sky and came back down and ran out of the rain. I don't know what happened. I had that guy.
I think Mitchell Jackson turned from a cup of coffee into a bucket of coffee into a puddle into a rain cloud and rained down on you? That's what you're telling me right now?
No, he did.
God damn it, Tandy. Amici, help me out here.
Well, I mean, I had him. I had him. Okay. So I track him down, downtown, like, doing his thing. And I get into this foot chase with him. I'm chasing him across town. I see him like running around this corner, going to this house. I run into the house after him, and he's just gone. I look everywhere. He's gone. I had locked the front door, so I know he didn't leave. I stopped my foot and I heard, hey! I was like, he's the house.
He's the house.
He was the house.
You were inside the perp, Amici?
Yes. So I ran outside.
Wait, you ran outside?
To make sure. Yeah, I had to make sure. So I ran outside. I called my cousin. He's a realtor. We did an appraisal. And I still wasn't sure. So I moved in. And I've been living there for
the house.
Yes. I lived there for a few weeks. And then I woke up one morning and I was outside. So he was the house, he left.
And scene.
I moved in. I think you just bought a house, dude. You were not chasing them.
He went through like signing all the papers, getting it inspected. Oh yeah, the real estate values are coming up in this thing. This was a lot the other day. It's great.
It's a person all the time. It's Michael Mitchell Jackson. That's how I think Joe Pesci felt in the movie Moonwalker. He's like, he turned into a what? A car and then a cat? What the hell?
Nobody believes the story.
Get the hell out of there and get that dude.